Hello and welcome back to Power Skills with Janna. I'm Janna Jones, your leadership development specialist, coach, and mentor. And I'm so thrilled that you're joining me today as we dive into a topic that is at the heart of great leadership: developing your people. Let's be real. Leadership isn't just about hitting targets or managing tasks and progressing projects. Well, I know that it may feel like it is at times, but we cannot do that on our own. We need good people. And the best way that we are able to do that is by setting them up for success. In that way, leadership really is about growing and developing the people around, helping them to unlock their potential and shine. So, today we will unpack the science of development, share the stories of leaders who have transformed their teams through intentional growth, and give you some practical tools to make development a core part of your own leadership practice. We will focus on the 70-20-10 model for development: 70% from workplace experiences, 20% from coaching and relationships, and 10% from formal training, with examples for early career, mid career, and senior leaders. Because when you grow and develop your people, they grow and develop your organization. So let's define and shape what is possible, one intentional choice at a time. Now, before we jump in, if I could make a quick request, please take this moment to hit subscribe wherever you listen. It means the absolute world to me. And if you are loving these episodes, perhaps you may like to share them with a colleague or friend who is also passionate about their own growth and development and that of others, so that we can reach more switched on leaders much like yourself. Thank you in advance. All right, now let's jump straight into it. Because as always, I think we should start with the why. Developing your people is not a nice to have. It is the backbone of building engaged, resilient, and high performing teams. When you invest in growth, you boost morale, retention, and innovation. Neuroscience tells us why. Learning new skills or tackling challenges releases dopamine in the brain's reward centers, sparking motivation and a sense of achievement. But development is not just about skills, it's about empowering your team to own their progress, creating a culture where everyone can thrive. The 70-20-10 model for development is a valuable roadmap for our journey. Traditionally, we thought development was going on those technical courses, the rah-rah motivational seminars. Both have a place, of course, but contrary to popular belief, actually 70% of our career growth and development comes from hands-on work experiences, 20% from coaching and our relationships with others, and only 10% from formal training. In that way, it's not about loading up on courses, it's about real world application. For our early career folks, this may mean stretch assignments to build confidence. Mid career leaders may value mentoring to navigate complexity, while senior execs can grow through strategic projects, leveraging their leadership presence across disciplines. When we get this right, you can amplify your impact. I worked with a leader whose team was plateauing. He thought training courses, the 10%, were enough, but morale was so low. And when he embraced the 70-20-10 model, refocusing those intentions and efforts on improvement projects, mentoring, and really selective training to magnify the work that they were already doing in the other two areas, his team engagement jumped 20%. That's the power of intentional development. In today's fast-paced world, we need to be able to actively adapt to changes, things like hybrid shifts and generational values. So developing your people may be exactly how you stay ahead. Step 1, prioritize those workplace experiences, the 70%. It's truly the heart of development. These are real world challenges that stretch skills and build confidence. Here's how you might like to make it work. Assign stretch projects. Give back the tasks that help to push beyond comfort zones. For early career staff, this could be leading a small client presentation or a monthly toolbox talk. Mid-career, Maybe facilitating a cross team initiative, and for senior leaders, owning a strategic pivot and leading a working group, for example. Consider rotating roles. Cross functional exposure can build adaptability. It could be something as formal as a secondment or a step up opportunity, or an early career technical professional might shadow an operations or a mid career leader. Mid career manager themselves may like to lead a new product launch, for example. Encourage problem solving. Let your team tackle the real issues, whether that's streamlining a process with autonomy to experiment. Often, when I speak to leaders about this, they share that their teams actually have great ideas that they raise often, but then they never go anywhere. Empower them to follow through with a focus on the solution and to lead it as a mini project. That is an ideal development opportunity and experience, especially where they or even you may need to lead through influence or seek out insights and collaborate with others in the team or even other teams. I work with a leader whose frontline team felt so stuck in routine tasks that they were unable to see beyond them. She assigned a junior team member to lead a client feedback project, leveraging that 70% experience opportunity, paired it with some mentoring, those check in meetings, the 20%, and the employee gained greater confidence, and the project improved client retention as well. For a mid career leader in the same team, she supported a stretch role in a merger task force, sparking that strategic thinking. Workplace experiences in the form of a very supportive stretch assignment are truly unmatched fuel for growth. Focusing on that 70%, you can remove the risk of stagnation as well. Step 2, the 20%, leveraging learning from others. That's coaching, mentoring, relationships, building trust and perspective. Let's consider how you may like to learn and grow from those around you. Perhaps start by offering regular feedback, no fluff. Provide specificity so that it's actionable. You did a really great job on this is an excellent acknowledgement, but it's not feedback. I really valued the correlations with the outputs and opportunities for improvement that you included in this report. It makes it so much easier for us to align on a way forward. Now that is something tangible that the person can not only take pride in, but also do more of. For early career teams, you may want to focus on skills and tasks. For mid-career leaders, leadership style or adaptability, and for senior leaders, on vision and strategy alignment, for example. Foster mentoring. You do not have to be their only coach and mentor. Consider who you might pair your own team members with. What value may they find in mentoring, and who is best placed to support that? This often depends on your own relationships and connections. But if you're unsure, you can also put your feelers out by sharing the opportunity with your peers. An early career employee might value learning resilience from a senior colleague. A mid career leader might gain strategic insight from a C suite mentor, for example. Encourage peer learning as well, like cross pollination, whether it's a different team, discipline, or technical expertise area of the organization. There is great power in connection to be found in understanding the challenges of others and also how much we may have in common despite our differences or distance. Consider where that may be of value and create forms for sharing insights across levels. A leader that I worked with was really committed to using coaching to transform his mid-career team. He set up bi-weekly growth huddles with his peers, shared challenges so that they could work through them together and offer support where necessary. One manager was experiencing feelings of imposterism, and they gained confidence through peer feedback. Oxytocin from connection boosted engagement. Coaching isn't the fluff, it's glue. Step 3, use formal training strategically, the 10%. It may not be the be all and end all as it's originally perpetuated, but it can absolutely complement experiences and coaching, especially where it is used wisely. Perhaps you might like to target specific needs. So, for early career folks, they may need technical courses, for example, data analysis or intermediate Excel skills. Mid career leaders may benefit from leadership workshops and programs, while senior leaders might do executive programs with more advanced or strategic topics like systems thinking and adaptive leadership. Apply them immediately. Often the problem with training is that it's conceptual or it's chalk and talk. It isn't meaningful and relevant until we do something differently back in the workplace, utilizing those learnings. Make sure that you tie the training that you're investing in into workplace challenges. Post training, have leaders teach back, sharing with others, or applying their skills in a real and relevant project. Keep it focused. Avoid overloading. Think of training like adding more apps onto the operating system. Overloading the operating system slows it down. As humans, our operating system is our brain. So if we fall into the trap of overwhelming it, it makes it harder for us to pick and choose the right skills to work on and to leverage, especially where we haven't had the chance to integrate that into our day-to-day work before the next session. One targeted course at the right time for the right person beats 5 generic ones for everyone. Don't cheat it. A tech leader that I coached sent an early career coder to a Python course. That's the 10%, right? Then they had to build a tool in the workplace, the 70%. With mentor guidance from one of the more experienced team members, the 20%. They hit all 3 of them. The coder's productivity then soared. Training amplifies when it's strategic and targeted in this way and supported back in the workplace. Your team's skills, engagement, and confidence will grow in turn. Step 4, empower ownership of development. Development sticks when people take ownership of it for themselves. So set your team up for success with clear goals. Help each individual to define their own growth path. They will, or at least they should, be as unique as each member of your team. Unless you've been employing carbon copies of yourself, that is. In that case, definitely reach out so that we can talk about the value of diversity. Otherwise, your early career team members might have goals centered around technical mastery, mid-career goals around leadership, and senior leader goals for impact, and executives for legacy. Ask, don't tell. Sometimes it feels easier to tell people what you think would be best for them, but exploring with curious questions can open up something that was previously unknown for both of you. Instead, you might like to use questions like, what's a skill set that you want to grow? That way you can spark that intrinsic drive and motivation at the same time. Support autonomy. Allow your people the freedom and at the same time ownership of the projects or mentors that they choose. This allows full buy-in from the very start, a pull for the development rather than a push that often comes when it's a one-size-fits-all approach. When your people experience success and growth at their own direction, that will stick. And that ability to take ownership will also stick with them for the rest of their career. In that regard, growth is limitless. One of my favorite leaders. Of course, I have favorites. There are just some people that you go away from buzzing and full of energy and inspiration. You're a wolf pack. This friend and I have some really big conversations around the purpose of development plans. She wanted to empower her team by co-creating their growth and development opportunities and putting together a plan of action. A mid-career employee chose a cross-functional project because they wanted to boost confidence and a specific skill set, but got way more than they bargained for, leading collaboration through influence in the process. Amazing. Ownership drives growth. And step 5, celebrate growth in order to sustain it, because celebration can help fuel momentum and really solidify that ownership as well. Perhaps you might start by acknowledging progress. Progress over perfection, always. Recognize effort. It is the foundation of a growth mindset. Dig deep into Carol Dweck's work for more great insights on that one. But for early career employees, that might be acknowledging their first presentation or a senior leader's strategic win. Dopamine reinforces growth. Share stories. Highlight development journeys, the actual journey, not just the outcome. Sharing these stories can help others who may not have initially been comfortable leaving their comfort zone to reconsider the opportunities that may then be available to them as well. Reflect together, debrief growth to build trust and to deepen the learning. Perhaps they might even be willing to share their learnings with the wider team so that you can all learn and grow together. A client that I work with recently celebrated a junior employee's project lead with a team shout out, sparking motivation. Celebration isn't optional, it's essential. Now, some power practices for you to amplify your own development, because like our 70-20-10 model for development, we don't develop through understanding. The foundation of our growth is in the doing, so let's get straight into it. Here are 5 actionable practices to get you started today. Start with an experience audit. Identify one workforce challenge for each team member this week. Perhaps this is where their opportunities for improvement will come from. Coaching and mentoring check-in. Perhaps you might schedule a 10-minute feedback session for one team member, or if you're working towards greater leadership yourself, book in your own connection with your coach and mentor. Share what you're working on and seek out further insights and feedback. Tie-in training. Connect any current or ongoing training opportunities back into the workplace. When I work with leaders in organizations, I'm always asking them for their past leadership work, even their vision and values, to make sure that it's tied in. Linking back to what has been done and resonates with people helps to keep it alive. For example, if Patrick Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions of a team and building a foundation of trust is what really resonated with your team at the last team day, how can you keep that alive? Perhaps it's tying into your team's lean meetings or having it laminated on the desk of your meeting room and using it as a quick check for any barriers. Ownership and accountability nudge. Instead of waiting for performance review time, perhaps you might get curious and ask a team member, what's your growth goal right now? Maybe even preparing your own and sharing it in your coaching and mentoring check-ins might help. And grow with gratitude. Genuinely thank someone for their efforts. Seriously, do not skip this part in favor of busy. It boosts employee engagement, motivation, and productivity while decreasing turnover. It satisfies a fundamental human need to feel appreciated, leading to increased job satisfaction, stronger team bonds, and higher loyalty, even motivating employees to reciprocate positive behavior with improved performance. People want to do good work, and acknowledging when they have done so with specificity will help them to see what good looks like. In turn, they will want to do more of that. Authentic gratitude also builds trust and can be a low-cost way to connect people to their personal impact that they have in their workplace environment and company outcomes. I know that these sound incredibly simple, but when stacked and habitual, the possibilities are as endless as potential. Now for some reflection questions to really ignite your focus here. Let's pause, friends, grab a pen if it's safe for you to do so, and think through these. Remember that surface level effort will get us shallow results, so try to dig deep. Who on your team could benefit from a stretch assignment? How might coaching or mentoring shift someone's growth? Remembering that it may not be valuable for everyone at all times. There is no one size fits all. So if you're unsure, perhaps you might consider who would value from the feedback and insights of someone outside of their usual interactions, or who would appreciate the perspective and having a sounding board. What is one development win that you haven't celebrated? And how can you make up for that now? How can you empower ownership this week? These are your stepping stones to opening up what is possible, both for yourself as an exceptional leader and for your team. Your challenge this week, should you choose to accept it, is to pick one team member who would value the development or allow them to volunteer and assign a workplace experience, that's 70%. It might be leading a small project. Pair it with a coaching check-in, the 20%, with you or with another leader that you think would be valuable. Write down their progress and celebrate it, perhaps with a shout out, whatever's the greatest value in your team. Share your own plan to do that with another colleague to make it stick, if that's helpful for you as well. I truly hope that this one small challenge and step opens up a pathway to potential for you and your team. Thank you so much for taking the time in your day to join me. Developing your people is not just a task, it is a leadership superpower. By leveraging the 70-20-10 model, you amplify your growth and impact. Let's connect on LinkedIn at Power Skills Development, or if you might value additional resources or would like to work with me further, please visit www.powerskillsdevelopment.com. While you're there, you can always subscribe to Power Pause. That is our weekly leadership nudge sent out via email and designed to support your growth and development just as much as you are supporting your teams. Please do not hesitate to share this with other leaders in your network who might also love it. It would mean the absolute world to me to connect with more switched on leaders much like yourself. Until next time, stay curious, stay intentional, and develop your people with the intention and attention to their unique value and diverse contribution, empowering powerfully, one step at a time. Enjoy the rest of your week.